9:45 p.m. The beginning. Daniel pulled up to the Ravenwood Motel, his car's headlights illuminating the crumbling sign. Half the neon letters were flickering, the rest had long since burned out. Rav W DMOE. The place smelled of damp wood and mildew. The paint peeled off the walls like old skin, and the cracked asphalt of the parking lot was littered with dry leaves. Waiting at the front desk was Arthur, the motel's owner. He was in his 70s, hunched over with sunken eyes, his skin yellowed like an old newspaper. "You the new guy?" Arthur asked, his voice raspy. Daniel nodded, shoving his hands into his hoodie pocket. "Yeah, just for tonight." Arthur didn't smile. Instead, he handed Daniel an old brass key. "Listen, kid, do your job, but never, never go into room 306. And if the phone rings, don't answer it." Daniel chuckled. "That's oddly specific." Arthur's face remained blank. "Just do as I say." Then, without another word, he shuffled past Daniel and out into the night. Daniel exhaled. All right, then. He turned to the lobby, ready for a long, boring night. 10:30 p.m., the first sign. An hour passed. Daniel sat behind the desk, scrolling through his phone, the flickering ceiling lights buzzing like trapped insects. The silence was unbearable. To kill time, he turned on the motel's security system. 4 grainy black and white camera feeds appeared on the old monitor. Lobby, empty. Hallway, empty. Parking lot, only his car. Stairwell. Daniel frowned. The stairwell feed showed something. A shadow. It stood at the bottom step, barely visible. But when he blinked, Ixazu. Warani. Paforaldir. I see lie. Arlarir for Aridiri, Seachwalider, Craig setting to PM main CMM. The phone rings. Just as he started to relax, the old rotary phone on the desk rang. Daniel froze. Arthur told him not to answer. But maybe it was a customer? A lost traveler? The ringing grew louder. Against his better judgment, Daniel picked up. "Hello?" Silence. Then a whisper. "Get out." Click. Daniel's heart pounded. His hands were clammy. He forced a laugh. "Great! A prank call, perfect!" But when he turned to check the security cameras again, the stairwell feed was off. 12:30 a.m. Room 306 unlocks itself. A loud thud echoed through the empty hall. Daniel's pulse quickened. He stepped out from behind the desk, peering into the dimly lit corridor. The air felt heavy, thick with an unseen presence. He walked past the rooms. 302, 304. Then he stopped. 306. The door was slightly open. Daniel gulped. Arthur said this room was off limits, but something inside him, a morbid curiosity, urged him forward. He pushed the door open. The room was freezing cold. The walls were covered in deep scratch marks, as if something had tried to claw its way out. On the bed, a guest book lay open. The pages were yellowed and brittle. Daniel flipped through the names, but they all had the same note written beside them. Never checked out. A gust of cold air swept through the room. The closet door creaked open. Daniel's stomach dropped. A coat hanger swayed, but there was no breeze. Then, from the darkness inside the closet, a face emerged, twisted, hollow, grinning. Daniel turned and ran. 1:15 a.m., the guest book. Back at the front desk, Daniel grabbed the guest book and flipped to the last entry. His breath hitched. The last recorded guest? Daniel L. His own name. A sharp knock at the lobby door made him jump. He turned. No one was there. But in the reflection of the glass, behind him, a tall, faceless figure loomed. 2 a.m., the security footage. Daniel frantically checked the security feeds. The stairwell camera was back on, and it showed something horrifying. A figure stood at the bottom of the stairs, watching, motionless. Then, slowly, it started climbing. 2:01 a.m. The figure reached the second floor. 2:02 a.m. It was in the hallway. 2:03 a.m. It was outside the lobby. Daniel whipped around. The glass door was fogged up as if something had breathed on it. And there, written in condensation, "Let us in." 3 a.m., the final call. The phone rang one last time. Daniel, trembling, picked it up. This time the whisper was clear. "Run!" The lights flickered. The temperature dropped. A deep, guttural growl filled the air. He turned. It was there. Room 306's shadowy figure inches away, grinning. The lights went out. A scream tore through the night. Then, silence. 6 a.m., the aftermath. The next morning, Arthur arrived. The front desk was empty, The guest book lay open, and beneath Daniel's name, a new note had appeared. Checked in. Never checked out.